If you've ever had a back spasm, I'd like to see you do a sumo squat, bend forward and look up towards the ceiling. Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Janowitz. I've been a chiropractor for 18 years and I'm going to be reacting to this really popular video on YouTube called How to Crack Your Upper and Lower Back, Do-It-Yourself Instructions, Improve Posture, and Feel Better. Let's go ahead.
Hi guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to crack your back. Especially many people don't know how to crack your lower back but not your upper back. It's kind of tricky, and I want to help you to release that tension up there and get that relief that you that you want so badly without going to a chiropractor.
Well, what I love about the guy, number one, is his energy and, quite honestly, his accent as well. However, you know, what you always want to be considering is, yes, we want to crack your back and you want to relieve tension, but you want to figure out why you're doing it and what's going on with that as well. So what I mean by that is the end goal to crack your back, or is your end goal to fix your problem? And so you want to really have some specificity here. So while I really like how his desire to really help the viewers, we're going to break it down and we're going to see what are some things that are doing right and what are some things that probably aren't the best practices to do.
You want to do this on a hard surface and lay on your back first and angle your knees. Then lift your arms up straight and kind of hug yourself. And you actually want to make sure that your shoulder blades are kind of...
So number one, the first thing I notice is that this guy's a young guy. And so if you are older and you have issues, it's not like you can jump on the floor and start doing this to yourself as well. So you have to really take into account how old are you and what really is the nature of your condition. And then you can also see this guy is very, very flexible as well and has good range of motion. Oftentimes when you're in back trouble and your back is out of alignment, causing pressure to the nerves, you're going to be lacking this flexibility, which might make it a lot harder to do for yourself.
Coming apart from this, so exactly like this, and then you breathe in deeply, you come up to here and you actually let your body fall back down. So let me just demonstrate.
Well, that I did not like. And so let me tell you why I didn't like that. Number one, if your body is in pain and your body's out of alignment, you're going to have a component of spasm and inflammation as well. And so throwing somebody and throwing yourself back into a hard surface like that, probably not a good idea, particularly if you were, like I said, having trouble with your back. So if you were young, you were healthy, and you didn't have any back issues, this might be a good video. But if you didn't have any back issues, then why would you be doing it in the first place, right? And so you would be doing stretching, not going into that range of motion. So the fact that he's doing that and literally slamming his body back to get momentum can actually cause very much damage, because what you have to realize is that when you have a problem with your spine, it's typically a particular vertebra that's shifted in a particular direction that's causing pressure on that nerve. When you're doing this, you're just indiscriminately slamming your body back with a high amount of force, hoping that you're going to get that one particular vertebra. But the problem is you're getting all the other vertebrae to get extra motion in there, which can actually, literally can cause them to go out of alignment. You can actually be inducing a problem in an attempt to try to correct what you're trying to do to get that release. Let's take a look more.
That's it. So I've had a couple of good cracks there. That's your upper back. The lower back is probably the easiest to do like this, and then just go there. To the other side as well. For the lower
now on that spine twist, while I think it's a great maneuver to do for a stretching position, I don't think it's good to go into what they call the periphysiological space, which is actually where you go far enough to where the joint actually gaps and releases that gas and releases that. Number one, you can tell he's been doing this a long time, so his spine is already looser or hypermobile. If your back is having a problem and you're like saying trying to find a solution here, you probably don't have the mobility that this guy has, and you literally again can risk yourself putting yourself into more spasm and more pain and more inflammation simply because of that. Again, the overall concept when you're looking at this is, you know, medication has a value, right? When you look at that, and you have a medicine cabinet, and you can take a pill for a particular thing, right? If there's a stomach pill for a stomach problem, or a headache for a headache, or a digestive issue, or whatever you might have. Well, when you're doing this and it's indiscriminate, it's like taking any pill for a particular condition. So it really lacks the specificity that's required. And it's literally impossible for you to feel and say, okay, I'm going to adjust L4 in this direction with this amount of force. You can't do it. So while I appreciate wanting to be able to take ownership of your health, and we want all of our patients to do that, we certainly don't want to be indiscriminate in the choice of treatment or prescription in that way. And that's what I worry about this, and as I'm watching this right here.
Part of the spine. Actually, let me show you what I mean. So we've just cracked this part where the ribs connect to the upper.
And he said it right. He's cracking. He's not adjusting. It's not specific.
Like we've then cracked the lower back in rotation here, but this one is kind of tricky. You don't.
And that's called your sacroiliac joint.
With this most of the time. So what you can do is get into this
again, need the flexibility. If your back was hurting you,
I'm sure you can see
how
this.
easy is that maneuver if you're having an issue that you're like trying to find a solution for?
Pull your arms straight and also breathe in, and whilst breathing out you rotate.
Again, if you've ever had a back spasm, I'd like to see you do a sumo squat, bend forward and look up towards the ceiling. I have yet to see that happen. Most people are coming like this, and they're coming what I call curbside because they can't even get out of the car, let alone do a sumo squat and look up. The other challenge that you have here is that's putting the SI joints, your pelvic joints, in compression into the spine. So it's literally bringing them back. Well, what if the misalignment pattern is actually a torquing? Or what if the misalignment pattern is going forward? Well, this is only for both joints in that particular scenario, and then doing a lot of twisting. And the twisting is going to put a lot more pressure again on the lower spine, which the reality of it is flexion and rotation are the most damaging for the joint and most damaging for the disc in particular. So when he's doing that extreme rotation, that's putting the body in one of the weakest maneuvers, and you're trying to balance on 2 feet doing a sumo squat. So again, if you're young and you don't have any back issues, great thing for potentially flexibility, although I would not do it to enough point where you crack your back, where it releases. I would do less than that. A stretch would not beyond that. But if you're having any sort of back issues, I just don't see this as a very practical method, although entertaining, not a practical method to really get you to where you fully want to be to fix your problem, right?
Until you can actually see the ceiling behind you. And that's it.
Again, I love his energy, I love his intention, I love what he's trying to do to really help the viewer, because obviously people are suffering, they want to feel better. The question is you know, is it better for me to try to do something on my own like this where I could potentially cause damage and more harm to me, or is it better to hire an expert who has trained for years and thousands of hours? I mean, I've done maneuvers on patients 200,000 times, perfecting these arts to be able to do this. So, you know, where do you want to put your risk in the risk of trying to do it on your own, or do you want to put it in the effort of, yes, you have to invest some time and some finances, but have someone do it correct, because this is your nervous system. It controls your body, all the muscles and organs. You only have one of them, and it's really important. So if you have any other further questions, you can watch our other videos, or you can give us a call as well. Look forward to seeing you on your next video. Thank you.